Well, we are setting off here in the GMC Sierra 1500 AT4X, and this one has the Bison package on it. I've actually already been lucky enough to review one of these, but I figure driving this truck at high elevation might be pretty fun to see how the 6.2 performs, and also just to see how the suspension performs over these bumpy, beat up Colorado roads. I will say, I thought some of the potholes and road damage in Utah was bad. Colorado, you definitely have us beat in certain places. Some places the roads are actually pretty nice, but some places it's like, man, these things are pretty rough shape overall. Okay, well, let's actually get up and move here in the AT4X. Now I'm just gonna do partial throttle. I'll do full throttle when we're going back uphill because I want to see, like, just, you know, with like maximum amount of resistance, elevation plus uphill, does this actually feel quick? Stop. I don't know. Every single time I get into one of these cars, stop. No. There we go. I always think I'm trying to talk. I don't know why that happens. I don't know why that happens. But anyways, super comfortable. The long wheelbase obviously helps out quite a bit, but also having the Multimatic shocks, yeah, like going over that pothole, I mean, you feel it, but it doesn't upset the vehicle, and it absorbs it pretty well. Like in some of these other, I mean, obviously these other, there's no other vehicle at this driving event that really competes against this, because I think this is the only full-size pickup truck here. But some of the other vehicles that are like unibody construction and don't have big off-road tires and everything, they don't feel nearly as like good over the bumps. Like they, you know, the whole chassis shakes and everything. So quite a bit of a different experience, that is for sure. Yeah, it's smooth, it's super smooth. Some other stuff, I love the interior on the AT4X. I think that GM did a really good job with the design. So like how everything on the dash kind of flows, and then the digital gauge cluster, and then the infotainment system, it feels very premium. And you know, some of you might not like this because of cleaning reasons, but all of the black trim they did in this area also adds to the upscale feel. So I think that that is another big plus with this truck overall. So the paddles here on the back of the steering wheel, outside of towing, I think that they're pretty useless, to be honest. I mean, like the transmission's just like, it's all about smoothness, right? Not about, you know, all out acceleration and all that. And so it's not like super snappy like what you experienced in like something like the Raptor, for example, that's more tuned towards the sporty side of things. But yeah, it's handling the bumps and everything really well, so I'm impressed with that. Like, yeah, it soaks all of it up. So I think they've done a really good job with the damping here on the AT4X. Okay, so we are going to be going uphill, and that starts with an acceleration with the 6.2 V8. Feels powerful, pretty good. So one thing that's kind of a little bit of my hot take on this whole setup is the fact that GM doesn't give this truck more aggressive gearing. And what I mean by that is, I'm pretty sure the acceleration on this is like 3.23. The Raptor, you know, it's 410. The Ram TRX has 700 horsepower, 3.55. So I just, you know, I understand the fuel economy argument with the axle ratio this has. You know, at the same time, it's like, why not do, you know, a more aggressive axle ratio? Because this is an off-road pickup truck. I understand people are going to use this for daily driving and everything, but you know, I think it would help make the 6.2 feel punchier, that's for sure. But also, I mean, with crawling and everything off-road, it would help out quite a bit. But you know, it's just kind of my opinion on that whole situation. I mean, it's good. Like when you get into it, it's pretty decent with the get up and go. And the 6.2, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque, it's a really solid setup overall. And so, yeah, I guess we'll get into setting things up with this little drive here on the AT4X. And I before I actually do that, I want to mention one more thing with the AT4X that makes it cool. Front and rear lockers. You guys can see those right over here. So that's another cool thing. And then also, of course, we got the camera rear view mirror there at the top. But to close things off here with this AT4X review, I think it looks really cool. I am a big fan of the, you know, looks of this package, the styling and everything. I think they've done a good job with that. I think it drives really well. You know, one thing to note is that this truck still has like that big, heavy, substantial truck feel. Ford's kind of gone away from that. Dodge is still kind of has that more so, but this definitely has that big, substantial truck feel. So for those of you that like to feel like you're driving more of like a tank, the GMC definitely has more of that feel to it. The suspension's really good, shock's really good, but I will say that I think that GM should put a couple of things. So more aggressive axle ratio, bigger tires. Obviously that's going to destroy the fuel economy, which is already not great because it's a big V8. But I also feel like, you know, this is a, like what, it's like an $85,000, $90,000 truck. I think it's like $90,000. I can't remember the MSRP. Someone that has $90,000 to spend on a truck, they've got the money to spend on gas. Now obviously not everyone that spends that amount of money on a vehicle wants to spend more on gas, but again, they have that. And then the other thing is, it would be so cool if we could get a supercharged GM truck. Like, I just it's sad that we don't have that yet. I'm sure that eventually, you know, we'll get that. Maybe we'll see what happens. But outside of that, I think it's a really good package. But I also do think that it does have some stiff competition with where this, you know, the Bison Edition is priced at around $90,000. You can buy a very nice Ford Raptor 35 package for about $85,000. 37 package, you're about $90,000. Now that obviously has a twin turbo V6, you know, completely different setup, but you know, would you rather get this or a Raptor, right? There's that question. And then with the Ram TRX, I mean, the prices on those have gone up quite substantially. I think the base price on a TRX is like $85,000 now. So you do have that side of things. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really do like the package. Let me know what you guys think about the AT4X, and let me know if you were considering buying the AT4X but instead bought, you know, Raptor or TRX. Like, why did you go that route over the AT4X? And let me know like what you'd want to see from GM on the AT4X. But overall, I think this is a really cool looking truck. I think it's got a beautiful interior. I like this interior personally way more than the Raptor. And when it comes to the Ram TRX, I like those. I think that I like the interiors equally for different reasons. But the Ram TRX doesn't have massaging seats, and this does. So I think that's a big plus for the GMC.